distortion. I am Ibrahim Traore, and today I'm pulling off your masks. Yes, you heard correctly. I, whom you call a young military junta leader, whom you brand as a dangerous radical, whom you serve up as an anti-Western dictator, am now telling you the truth. And this time you cannot turn off your microphones. This time you cannot turn away your cameras. This time your editors cannot cut this speech, because the world you monopolize no longer exists. Because millions will hear these words now, without passing through your filters, without being subjected to your distortions, without being muddied by your lies. I am 34 years old. Every day of my life, I grew up with your lies. As a child, I would watch Africa on television. Always the same images. Children with flies, dry lands, weapons, death. This is Africa, they told us. This is what Africa is. And we believed it. We were ashamed of ourselves. We were ashamed of our own lands, of our own people. But then I grew up. I read, I researched, I questioned, and I understood that the Africa you showed us wasn't real. The story you told us was a lie. The fate you imposed on us was a script you had written. For years, how have you portrayed Africa? How have you shown it? How have you sold it to your viewers? As if we were creatures who had no share of humanity, as if we were savages left outside of civilization, as if we were wretches waiting for you to save us. Every day, every hour, every minute, the same story plays on your screens. Hunger, war, disease, corruption, terror, chaos. These are the words that come to mind when Africa is mentioned. In your Africa dictionary, there are no other words. No hope, no success, no development, no resistance, no honor, no pride, no victory. So I ask you, New York Times, Washington Post, Guardian, Le Monde, have you ever made Africa's successes your headlines? How many times have you written about Rwanda's technology miracle? How many times have you shown Ethiopia's reforestation project? How many times have you praised Botswana's democratic success? How many times have you described Kenya's entrepreneurial ecosystem? No, because these don't fit your scenario. Your Africa cannot be successful. It cannot, because then how will you legitimize your exploitation? If it's not in need of help, how will you intervene? If it's not backward, how will you look down on it? Have you ever asked yourselves, has any editor sitting at their desk, any news director in a meeting, any columnist at their keyboard ever thought, why are the people of the world's richest lands poor? Here are the numbers for you, real numbers. Africa owns 70% of the world's cobalt reserves. Your cell phone, your computer, your electric car won't work without cobalt. This cobalt comes from Congo, but Congolese can't afford cell phones. Africa owns 90% of the world's platinum reserves. Catalytic converters, electronic devices, medical implants, they all need platinum. This platinum comes from South Africa, but South Africans are crushed by unemployment. Africa provides 30% of the world's gold production. Mali, Burkina Faso, Ghana, Tanzania. Gold flows like rivers from our lands. But our people swim in poverty. Africa supplies 65% of the world's diamond production. Botswana, Angola, Congo, Sierra Leone, billions of dollars worth of diamonds are extracted, but our miners live on $1 a day. Africa owns 35% of the world's uranium reserves. Niger, Namibia, South Africa. Nuclear plants run on our uranium. Paris lights burn with our uranium. But our villages have no electricity. And you still ask, why is Africa poor? No, the right question is, how was Africa kept poor while being so rich? Here's your answer. Colonialism didn't end. It changed shape. You used to come and occupy our lands. Now you come and establish companies. You used to take by force. Now you make agreements. You used to rule with the whip. Now you rule with credit. Let me give you concrete examples. With numbers, names, dates, but you'll never write about these. Glencore, Swiss-based mining giant, extracting cobalt in Congo. 2022 revenue, $256 billion. Tax paid to Congo, $500 million. That's 0.2%. Is this justice? Rio Tinto, British-Australian mining giant, extracting...
Some years ago, I came from one of the UN peacekeepers army from Bangladesh that how is the situation going on in African countries, and he also told me that how the situation is deteriorating day by day, and what is the role of the UN peacekeepers army in African countries. And today I have watched the speech of the great leader of one of the African countries, IBRAHIM Traore, and his speech drew my attention, and I could remember the witness of UN Peacekeeper Army who told me some years ago. Maybe it was 2012 or 2013. The UN Peacekeeper Army came from Congo, and he told me that the people of African countries are exploited, are being exploited every day and every moment by European countries like US, Germany, France, etc. etc. Most of the European countries depend on African countries for their valuable assets like weapons and medical aids, medical weapons, or medical instruments. And one of the most business of US countries or European countries is their weapon business. And for weapons, for making or building weapons, they totally depend on African countries, and they get most of the instruments for making weapons from African countries. And African countries are the suppliers of most valuable platinum, uranium, gold, diamond, this type of most valuable natural assets and mining assets are coming from African countries to the European countries. European countries are being raised, are being developed by using this type of assets. But the people of African countries are illiterate and they are indifferent to their assets. They don't know how rich they are in natural assets. They are being made blind by European countries. By the speech of Ibrahim Traore, I have understood that the UN Peacekeeper Army told me the real fact, and the UN Peacekeeper Army told me that the people of African countries, most of the people of African countries don't know how to use natural assets. They don't know what are the fruits, and what are the natural fruits they can take, but they are being involved in conflict with each other because they are being intrigued, they are being encouraged to be involved in conflict among themselves, and they are involved in conflict, and the European countries are taking the benefits of their chaotic situation. So the speech of the president of this of Ibrahim Traore opened the eyes of should open the eyes of the people of African countries. Here I have watched the video of the speech of this president, and I have understood that the people of African countries are going to be courageous and going to be inspired by some of the leaders. But it is very much it's a matter of very much threat, very much concern that like the previous leaders, this leader is in the in the in the net of danger, net of conspiracy. When European countries are being disrupted or are being disturbed or are being hampered in their interest, they can take away any type of leaders from the world, and they can resolve any leaders, and that is the matter of concern, that this leader can be threatened, or can be, if I make it clear, they can be killed. So the people of African countries should be aware, should be careful about their natural assets, and I would like to request them, please raise your head and be educated, be careful, and be human. And you need to be understand that you should understand that you are the people who can donate the world, but at this moment you are taking the donation from European countries. That is the matter of shame for you. So you should raise your head and you should be careful, and you should utilize, or you should utilize your natural assets properly. The UN peacekeeper army told me that you don't know how to eat the fruits like the coconuts, and you cannot take the you cannot eat the birds like hen, cocks, and most of the birds can be eaten by human being, but you don't know how to eat the birds like hens or cocks or pigeons, etc., etc. You don't know how to eat fish, you don't know how to eat meat, you don't know how to rear some birds, you don't know how to rear animals, domestic animals, and you don't know how to process the foods. And I also came to know that some of the people from India and the neighboring country of India, Bangladesh, go to your country and they are doing farming in your country, but you cannot do farming properly. It's a matter of shame. You should be serious now, and you should use your natural resource. You have the most valuable assets like gold, diamond, platinum, uranium, and your assets are being used by European countries, and you are being deprived, you are being exploited. So I hope, and I would like to request to you, please be careful and please be serious about your natural resources. And if you can be serious, if you can be if you can be educated, I hope that you will be the richest countries in the world, and European countries will be surprised at your improvement. So if you cannot use your natural resources properly, you cannot be perfect people. Most of the people from Europe or Asia or Middle East call you illiterate, barbarous, and idiots. Now this is the time for you to stand together and stand out, speak out, and to be strong and to be educated. And most of the people of African countries are illiterate. This is a matter of shame as a nation. So all the African leaders should take steps so your people can be educated, and your people can stand together. Your people can protect their natural resources. The European countries like France, US protect your natural resources, but this is a matter of shame for you. Your resource should be protected by you. You are the human being. You should be human. You should be civilized now. This is ultra modern age. You should cope with this modern age or ultra modern age, and you should know how you can cope with the advanced world. Now this is it is the time to realize this. So I hope you will understand the speech, or you will understand or you will cope with the steps taken by this president IBRAHIM Traore, and you will save him. His family is on threat, his life is on threat. You should protect them, and this president can change you, and you should always cope with this type of presidents so that your nation or your countries can be developed. I wish you all the best. I hope for your bright future. Thank you, everybody. I pray to God for your successful life. Thank you.